First, I'd like to call up to the podium the first team, Holly Tassi, Kelly Fisher from Syracuse University, and their idea for Ag4Africa. Please come on up. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. First off, thank you all for being here tonight. We're extremely excited to be here and present our business model to you. And in particular, we'd love to thank RGK and Dell and the University of Texas for putting this program together and allowing us to compete. So, again, my name is Kelly Fisher.
And I'm Holly Tassi.
And we're both seniors here at Syracuse University, and we're here representing Ag4Africa, which is a rural business development model for sub-Saharan Africa. So, when you think about Africa today, the real hot button issue is the whole idea of infrastructure. And there's a key trend where corporations and organizations are funneling money and resources into the continent of Africa. A key noted point is the World Bank, who is pledging $93 billion. I'd just like you to all take a second to digest that. $93 billion into building this grid of electricity, roads, sanitation that the local African community cannot afford. And there's that key link there of the grassroots small business foundation that's really underlying that infrastructure and that really supports that investment that's currently missing in Africa. And that's where Ag4Africa is really going to play a key role. And again, if you just look at history, the U.S. is a case in point. Small business has been a pioneer for society to flourish and prosper, and agricultural specifically has been the real engine for growth for success to move the U.S. where it is today.
This really should not be an issue for sub-Saharan Africa because agriculture is the continent's greatest resource and comparative advantage to the rest of the world. But the government has severely failed in properly addressing rural poverty. With 2/3 of the population directly relying on agriculture for their livelihoods, only 4% of the government budget is addressing rural development. There's also been a severe negligence on behalf of the science and technological communities. Those who set the research agenda have bypassed really important indigenous crops that lie in these farmers' backyards and have focused instead on exotic and foreign crops. Since these farmers have not received the proper support and funding, incentives, and technological advancement that other crops have received, they have no infrastructure to bring their indigenous crops, which are very valuable to them, to the international market. This is really where our company Ag4Africa comes in, and we believe that in greater cultivation of indigenous crops, we can provide not only a local and secure source of food, but we can deliver economic, environmental, and societal benefits to all parties involved. This is where we are going to start. The first crop we are going to commercialize is called the bambara groundnut.
So bambara is a legume that's unique in the fact that it's so nutritionally balanced that a person could literally survive on it alone. And this has obvious implications for a place like sub-Saharan Africa, where 1/3 of the population doesn't have enough access to food for a healthy lifestyle, and chronic malnutrition and food shortages are a day-to-day challenge. Bambara obviously has some key advantages over other crops that make it an ideal agricultural solution for sub-Saharan Africa. One, it's extremely adaptable in the sense that it doesn't require fertile soil or a lot of water to grow. So it can easily be cultivated in a place like sub-Saharan Africa where it has an arid, drought-stricken climate. And it's also a sustainable agricultural crop in the sense that it doesn't require synthetic inputs like fertilizers or pesticides. And it actually, in the growth process, fixates nitrogen into the soil, which naturally improves soil fertility and has benefits for things like crop rotations and intercrop farming practices. But perhaps the most important benefit of bambara is the fact that it can be a almost complete substitute for soy. And the soy market is a massive market. It generates about $21.6 billion in revenue a year, and it has a 31% annual growth rate. But the current growth of soy can't be sustained at the current supply levels. And bambara actually can be a direct substitute for soy in the sense that it has all of the same industrial applications and can be processed into all of the same end products such as milk, flours, and butters.
So where do we come in. Ag4Africa is a cooperative model that is going to serve as an intermediary to enable the strategic partnerships that we formed to utilize the resources that they already have in place to come together to reach the overarching goal of improving the lives of those in sub-Saharan Africa. We've already built strategic relationships with private and public sector industries, both in Africa and here in the United States, as well as other parts of the world. Working with local community groups to help communicate and collaborate with the farmers, we will be able to purchase the seeds and also help modernize their farming practices with help from international NGOs who have that expertise that we can leverage. Finally, we envision reaching the end consumer through multinational corporations. And with partnerships with universities here in the United States as well as over in Africa, we will be able to help cultivate the best seed, quality and quantity to ensure the best yields that we can for processing.
So overall, Ag4Africa's business model really provides value at all stages of our supply chain. For the local farmers, it provides food security through Banbara's consumption and also wealth creation through its international distribution and sale. It also provides an outlet to help modernize the farming practices of these local farmers to help stay on par with local competition. For local processors, it's a way to diversify their product offering by easily leveraging their existing production capabilities and facilities across Africa. International purchasers will be able to purchase Banbara for 65% less than the cost of soy. And that cost savings will naturally be passed on to the end consumer, who will also benefit from Banbara's superior nutritional composition and possible use in a variety of end products. But it's important to also step back and take note that Ag4Africa at its heart is a social business. So our key benchmark for success is how well we improve the lives of the local farmers throughout sub-Saharan Africa. We operate through a fair wage structure, which pays our farmers $2 a day, as well as an additional incentive tied to production. And this gives the farmers the potential to actually triple the annual income of what they're currently making. And it's this wealth creation that's really going to pull the farmers and their families from poverty to prosperity.
So we are not alone in our efforts, and through our market research, we have developed an extremely strong network of people who not only have encouraged us as we've developed this model, but they share the same enthusiasm, passion, and understand the need and necessity for the implementation of our model as we moved along. So we've really laid out our foundation of our theory, and next needs to come, actually getting on the ground and fostering the relationships that we built. With any proceeds that result from this competition, we would use them directly to purchase seeds, engage these farmers to cultivate greater yields of the Bambara groundnut, and finalize the negotiations of the contracts that we've already begun to form. We truly believe that the Bambara groundnut is really the first step in an indigenous crop that can change the face of Africa. So please join us, and we really appreciate all your support and listening to our model. Thank you so much.